Welcome back to Something Else Today podcast. I am your host, DJ Mahlatsi, and this episode is proudly sponsored by BroCabs. So we have someone from BroCabs here who's going to introduce themselves shortly, and they're going to tell us about this amazing innovation. As you know, in South Africa, we have an e-hailing and taxi issue. So maybe this might be the solution because e-hailing drivers are having challenges. You've seen, we've covered that. And also, you know, the taxi industry is also becoming a challenge. And you've seen, and we've also covered that. So I hope this solution is going to actually inspire you guys to actually get on BroCabs and support a proudly South African product by these amazing gentlemen. So, hi, welcome.
Hi, Matlatsi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
But come closer to the
All
mic.
right.
Oh, you can pull it. Oh, so sorry. Yes.
Okay, thank you for having
Please
me,
do
Matlatsi.
introduce yourself. Yes.
My name is Persy Qamata. People call me Persy, and I am the CEO of BroCabs, as well as the co-founders that I'm with in studio, the three other guys that have created the app.
Wow, that's amazing, guys.
Yes.
You guys seem so young. Is it just me?
I mean, young is relative. It's all about what you're looking at.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what led you guys to actually create this smart solution?
So what led us to create this solution was, it was a cry from drivers, and we wanted to solve a problem within the e-hailing industry, right? So number one, we had a co-founder whose name is Msizi, and he is from KZN. Just to give you a background, he came to Joburg to work, and he was working in the rental car industry. And through taking trips continuously every day, he identified this problem that constantly came up from drivers. Now, when he came up with this idea at the time, we had already been doing a business of our own, which was websites. We were doing web development for local companies, small to medium enterprises. Now, when he came with this idea, we thought, what a great idea. But the first concept of Bro was to actually do the taxi industry and have an application for that industry. We were met with a lot of resistance, right, as you can imagine. And because we met that resistance, we decided, why not just pivot into an industry that already exists and solve a problem that is there? And we came up with BroCabs, which is an e-hailing service that doesn't charge commission to the drivers, but charges a monthly subscription that they pay to be on the app.
You know, when you talk about how you started with the taxi first, we also have had these challenges before. I did an assignment in varsity on my final year for interaction design because I work in the UX and UI space. And when I did that taxi thing, we all had such amazing ideas about the taxi app. And you know, at the end of the year, the lecturer indirectly told us, you know, guys, this is not going to work. It's just like, this is an assignment.
It's a nice concept.
It's an assignment. You get your degrees and continue with your life. So I know the taxi industry is probably going to have so much resistance, of course, you know, because of they are very traditional. They are unbanked. They bring millions to the economy that cannot even be regulated, and they're not even paying tax. Maybe that's one of the reasons. But let's dive back into BroCabs and leave the taxi people alone. So why bro? Because now I'm a brane. What am I? Am I a bra in this case?
You're still a bro. It's just a name that is behind the entity. So the whole concept is that we want to build a super application. And this is the name behind that super app that we're going to build. The first phase then is us going into the e-hailing industry. And it is a name that caters for a bigger brother that protects you while you're on rides, and that stands for protection when you are taking one of our trips. It has nothing to do with gender. That's what I'm trying to
Oh, you're saying
to.
a brother though. Why would you not say a big guardian? Because you know SA and
Guardian.
men problems and kiko mujolong, kiko di GBV. I'm not saying anything about your name. I'm just saying, you know, we need to be very open. Have you not has anyone else asked you?
And we have.
Oh, okay.
Many people raise this question, but as we said, it's just a concept of the whole company. It's not really leaning towards any messaging that we're trying to sell.
Okay.
But it's just a bigger brother protecting you while you're taking in trips.
Yeah, I've got great big brothers, so I can relate.
Yeah.
I can definitely take a trip. So, guys, how has the growth been for BroCabs? Have you been getting support? Have you been getting sponsorships? I saw you have a relationship with CarTrack.
Right. Let's not shamelessly plug people. But
Oh,
what we've been getting as support is that since October up until this point, the app started with a pilot phase. They started in July, and this was a control test. As you know, with applications, you have to get a feel of the environment
definitely.
and do a soft launch first. So,
The MVP one.
yes, that's where we're currently at as a company, right? And because we've done that, the feedback we've gotten, we had targets. We had a target of 30 drivers at least, and we had a target of at least 100 commuters, right? But we far exceeded that, and it surprised us as well how much people need this service to come into the market, right? We have over 1,000 drivers registered. We have over 1,000 commuters going onto our app, downloading it, registering, right? And this is just the MVP model. And now, because of that, we've gotten feedback and we're saying, okay, these are the things we need to work on as a company before we go to launch, which is speculatively on the 1st of November, right? So the feedback has surpassed what we expected, and we've gotten an influx of traffic, and we have to build systems to cater for such traffic. After all, we want a quality app.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would want a quality app as well. I don't want it to be freezing or doing funny things when I'm and I'm requesting a bro, it brings me a bra. You know, I don't want to be also like
Yes.
you know. So, you know, in terms of your soft launch, your minimum viable product, how many features are on the app?
Think of the green on the black app. We have the same features, right?
Okay.
But now we want to introduce things that are more innovative, and I just want to protect our IP here, but
Yes.
we're coming with different features that are going to be more engaging, more focused on the people who use our app every day. An example of this is we're partnered with a college, I can't disclose,
Yes.
but they are going to be actively using the app, and a feature which is catered just for students, where they input their ID and their student number, and automatically they get discounts on their rides, because that is a specific catered feature for them.
That's beautiful, actually, for the students, because, you know, as a student, of course, you need to get around and you are exploring life and you're partying behind your parents' back. We're not blaming you. I've done it too. You know, you're doing all sorts of things like that. And so you want to be safe because of, you know, other e-hailing apps, the green and the green app, the green and the black. The green and the green, but the green and the black app, there's another green, so it's green, green, black. So the green, green, black apps also, you know, sometimes they've had like safety concerns, you know, safety cases opened against them and all of those things we hear on social media. So as a parent, I would also want my child, if they were in varsity, which I can't have a child close to that age, but I would also want to know that, okay, they're using such an innovative way, and also keeping safe regardless of whatever decisions they're making without me actually seeing. So let's get our
Can I add on that point, right?
yes, definitely.
With regards to safety, we've also catered for that on our application, partnering with a third party that has a panic button on the apps and a first-time respondent. So that's one of the innovative ways I can just introduce as a going into the market that we'll have.
I want to introduce, I can't call you Ghost Anonymous anymore. Hi, Luther. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's good to be here.
Oh, okay. We thought you want to add something. If you want to add something, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the pilot phase. So the pilot phase was done in a controlled environment. It was a month. During that time, because we're building towards the MVP, we made sure that every functionality on the app is working. Our target was to make sure that we have 99% of every single feature on there to be working. So what we did is we tested, while en route, we tested the SOS features. We tested adding a stop, adding a trip. We tested the payment functionality. We tested every single thing that you can think about to make sure that the basic is actually done. And we piloted that in Braamfontein, and we got a lot of traction, and a lot of people came through to support that initiative. And due to that, then obviously then now we are at a stage where we can add other integrate other features on the app that are more innovative that the other guys don't have. So yeah, we've been blessed to have a successful pilot phase. And just mind you, we've been operating for 2 months, 2 full months. And within that 2 full months, we've had over 1,000 drivers. As I'm speaking to you right now, I'm getting 20 drivers every single day downloading the app. Now, what we wanted to do in this platform is also create some type of communication with the drivers to let them know we have a waiting list. So we are lucky that we have drivers that know that, we keep them updated in terms of like how the app is doing, where we are, because we've created a relationship with our drivers. They know that our target is to launch on the 1st of November. And those drivers that have currently registered the app and haven't been approved, we have sent them out communication to let them know that we will definitely approve them. We do see them.
So are you still verifying them? Is that what's happening? Because
Yes, because with the verification, what we've done is we have identified key important elements that we need to do the verification from. Like, for instance, I know that drivers are talking about pictures. We need to, like, for instance, we require that drivers take a picture of themselves as a selfie holding their ID. Now, we are partnered with MIE, who then vets that with the Home Affairs to see that that picture is working okay. So we also do criminal checks and all that. So we are currently vetting them. So all of them, they will be vetted before the 1st of November. They will know exactly how far we are with the process, and then they will get to find out the next step. Because we need to make sure that security is something that we take highly in this industry.
after what you said, if people don't download BroCabs, Shem, Angsaz. Honestly speaking, you're doing the verification that even the banks are doing.
Yes.
The complicated verification that makes sure. So that's the highest form of security that we have in the country for verifying anything.
That's
and
correct.
I really think you guys are not going to have a lot of scandals out of this, because that is amazing how you're doing it.
Yes.
Because also sending transactions on a banking app is very tricky, especially if you send an amount over like 3,000 to a new person. They
Yes.
actually try to verify that. So I think if you're using the highest format of verification,
Yes.
I don't think much can actually go wrong, because that means whatever happens, whatever a driver does, which is what women on social media claim, that the green and blue and the green and
Black. Those guys.
the green and black app did
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
But then I don't know the driver. The driver's not using their profile. Now they have that information, and you can also release that information to the police if anything goes wrong. So you are kind of cleared on that, because I'm pretty sure as much as it's a big brother, people also have bad big brothers out there.
Yes.
Those things are going to happen as challenges that actually come across. So we have another one, another bro in the building. Please introduce yourself and continue.
Hi everyone, Sabile Makutulela. I do the marketing for Bro, right? So just wanted to highlight that a lot of people have PTSD when it comes to this industry, right? Considering the existing guys, they are not from here, honestly. And we come with the energy of people who have been here and understand our people from the core, whether as a driver or as a commuter. That's why we can then now say with Bro, even when doing activations, we're hearing those kind of stories. Like, they're scared, right? So with Bro, what we are fostering right now is we're building a community. It's not only about mediating rides. Our drivers have their own group chats as well, where they frequently communicate about Bro, get other commuters to download the app and use our app. So just to highlight that it's not only about requesting a ride, but it's about building a community. Yeah.
I think that's really, really beautiful. Hey, that's amazing, guys. What you're doing is really, really amazing. It's very innovative, and I do hope and wish you guys the best in terms of it working. But let's get back into the interview again with these amazing features. I'm actually blown away because I work in tech, and I'm not trying to be too technical for the audience. I'm just trying to be normal because, oh my God, yeah. So, Okay, so in this controlled environment test that you guys have been conducting, right? Have you had like maybe a difficult or strange rider or driver experience? Like, you know, when you do research, right, there's always going to be outlay and data. There's always going to be that one that goes very far from what everyone else is doing. Have you guys ever, you know, encountered that?
Yeah, I think we did. Initially, what we did on the pilot phase is with geomapping and radius. We were doing a control pilot phase, but we forgot that we are also marketing the business on social media. So you get people who are downloading the app that are in Durban, that are requesting on the app itself.
But they're not.
But there's no drivers that are getting those requests. So what we saw is we would have a lot of requests that are happening once a driver has the app on, and the distance would be far. So what we've done is we've put measures in place to make sure that the only request that a driver can get is when he's within 3 kilometer radius. So those are some of the functionalities that we've seen on the pilot phase that we have solved. Another thing that we have seen is on the functionality was the tipping, right? What we have is that we have a system after the ride. Automatically, you've got a screen that pops up to say, would you like to tip this particular driver? Then you have different amounts that are there, 10 rand, 20 rand, 30 rand. What we did is that we made certain amounts. We did not allow the commuter to input the value that they wanted. If you want to tip 7 rand, you can tip 7 rand. But we had values of 20 rand, 30 rand, and so forth. These are the things that we have seen technically on the app. I don't know, Persy, you would like to mention some of the
from
things?
a technical standpoint, we had a feature that we had during the pilot that we had to remove later, but we're probably going to introduce it at a later stage, which is an endless trip, where you can request and say, I don't know where I want to go tonight. Let me just see where the night
You
want to
take a driver on a road trip.
Exactly, and the fee accumulates as you're going, right? Which is something we saw in Western countries. It works. Obviously, in our market, due to safety reasons and due to verification reasons, it might be tricky, but we'll find a way to navigate such innovative things when coming into market, yeah.
Yeah, I think as the target market, as the target market uses your app, I think you'll see what other loopholes are there and how to actually work around that solution. Because I don't think it's a bad idea or whatever the case might be. It's just that in our country, it's very different. And me as a driver, and I've experienced all these things with the green and blue and yellow app, those apps, all those, I think I should just call them by name. I think the colors are hitting me hard. So with all those apps that I've used, I probably have that PTSD as well, of almost being mugged, or as a passenger of, almost getting kidnapped or whatever the case, or having an altercation with a driver that I never thought I was going to have. So maybe it might take a couple of iterations before it actually starts working. So you might need a couple of sprints and go back to your Scrum board.
We're partnered with security companies who have first-time response. Some of those are the mitigation strategies we're coming into play with to see that functionality is 100% efficient. Because the number one thing people have been complaining about is safety, right? Both driver and commuter side, right? So the MIE that Luther was speaking of is not only for drivers, but commuters as well have to do verification so that when a driver takes someone, they're not put in a boot in Soweto. Right, so they are protected. No, it's one of the geomapping hotspot areas, right, where a lot of occurrences are happening.
They're putting each other in booths and so it. Sorry.
Drivers are getting kidnapped, right? And because of that, what we've done is that let's make sure our drivers and our commuters are safe. Kidnappings are at a high rate when it comes to e-hailing drivers. That's one of the concerns we're coming to address as well.
So it is a jungle.
Yeah.
And I think it was very imperative for us to partner with a company that has also influence with over 2,000 security companies in South Africa. So in regards to the distance in terms of and the ETA for them to come as a first time respondent when something happens is quite high. So we opted to choose that company, making sure that if in the event where a panic button is pressed, and they do make those calls and there's no response, then these companies could go out there and try and assist our drivers, even our passengers. And we don't just cover the security point as well. We realize that insurance, you know what, is high for drivers. Part and parcel of what they get, drivers, is when they get roadside assistance. So if they have a flat tire, someone will come in and assist them. If they're involved in an accident, that's very important. They are covered by just paying the subscription fee. They are covered. So that puts them at ease a little bit, you know. And so we have answered those questions that the drivers are complaining about. And obviously, because we are doing something that's totally different, a subscription-based model instead of a commission-based model, that that saving that we give drivers can overflow to the riders themselves. You know, they can get affordable rides as well. So yeah.
Wow, that's actually very, very interesting. But there's another loophole in the e-hailing industry, right? That a lot of the drivers who were here were mentioning it, right? Is that they struggle with certain demographics not paying for their trips. So there is people who don't pay for their trips. So how did BroCabs cater for that? When a passenger doesn't pay for the trip due to whatever reasons, maybe someone else requested on their behalf, and then they got into because there's always going to be those outliers in data where people are going to request for other people, and then they request and it's cash, or they're supposed to pay, or the card is not declining immediately, because those kind of system errors can also happen. So how do you cater for that? How do you cater for when a passenger cannot pay for their trip, but they really taken the trip?
And remember we mentioned that one of the verifications we're doing is also for commuters.
Yes.
Right. Why we do that, the pain point today is that they don't have a trace on these other apps. If something had to occur, you don't know if this person who registered is actually a valid person. I mean, some of the apps only take ID, and you can have a Gmail account and then you're done. They don't verify the ID. They don't check if it's a valid Gmail. You can put in anyone's SIM card into your phone and just open up a profile on the other applications. That's where we're saying we need to have a trace as to who is this account under, and we can do follow-ups on that. Obviously, where there are refunds that have to be in place, then we provide where it's necessary. But the most important thing is to know who is accountable for trip A that went from Swanton to Soweto, an example, right? And we can then follow up with that account, whether it's to block the profile or do a follow-up to say what happened in that exact instance.
Okay, other challenges that we have in SA is the taxi industry.
Right.
Let's get into the uncomfortable parts of the interview. Sorry, guys. We have to ask.
Yeah.
It's what journalism. I don't know. Lynn, I just found out the word today.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
since there's a lot of challenges, how are you going to navigate those challenges with the e-hailing drivers, with the taxi drivers, in terms of where you can't drop off, where you can't pick up, areas you can't operate in? How are you guys going to manage that? How do you plan on managing that?
So the measures we have in place, right, when it comes to criminality and issues that have violence and things of that nature, you can't prevent crime in South Africa.
100%.
But you can mitigate and have ways that could block those things from happening, right? So some of the things we've done as a company is to say, let's have strategic partners in areas that are taxi-based, right? And let's have an MOU to say our drivers can operate in these areas without hassles. That is very important in the instance that if a driver is in a certain mall and we have an MOU with that mall, then they get a clearance because they're using our application, right? Because we understand this market that we're operating in South Africa and the environment and how it is, we would love for our drivers to have a seamless experience on the roads where they don't feel like they're in danger, where they don't have a situation that Thokozisi had, right? Where he was gunned down and he was just new on the application, right? So some of the measures is that we have geo mapping, which allocates our drivers to say, this is an area where we don't have an agreement with these people. So you are going to have to be cautious when you're there. Like push app notification to say, this is a geo-mapped area for danger. Please don't operate or refrain to operate from there.
But
I think that's very important, because we've got a team that specifically sit technically to do those push notifications to our drivers, so that they know exactly when they're operating, what is the landscape, what's the situation. If in real time we know that there is a strike at a particular place, we can then do those push notifications to the drivers. They can see it in real time on the app to say, this area currently right now there's a report, please shy away from this area. I think we're doing that because we want to make sure that our drivers are safe. When Persy mentioned these MIUs, we go as far as having MIUs with many malls, just different stakeholders within the Gauteng areas, just to find out from them to say that, look, we understand that e-hailing right now is unregulated. Drivers can just pick up, but we coming as BroCabs to say, here we are operating. Tell us how you would like our drivers to operate. We are starting that engagement with them to say, tell us the rules. What do you guys want us to do? Because some of these apps have never done that. Then we can have those engagements to say, okay, this is where we want you guys to pick up and so forth. And we can have these discussions, and then we can then tell our drivers. Now, regarding the legislation that Persy was talking about with the law, we have applied as well, just like any other e-hailer that was required to apply, just like any other drivers. The Gauteng government currently right now is working through the legislation. So they wanted input from each and every stakeholder within the industry to see how are we going to be going about this legislation? How are we going to be regulating the industry? What input can we put as BroCabs to say that we want? Right now, as Persy was talking, he was talking about the first idea that we have with the taxi industry. Our idea was to get away with cash. Currently, right now, the Joburg department is doing this cashless transport system by the year 2026, currently right now. So we are in line with the mandate of government in regards to that. So I think both industries, as time goes on with this legislation, we can work hand in hand with each other. I don't know how that is going to be done. However, we as BroCabs are open, and we are part of that engagement.
But now, hey, government, let's get into government, guys. Okay. So now government is asking you all guys for your input, talking to you, right? And trying to get all this information. And they come up with an announcement that they want to create their own e-hailing app.
Yes.
And then, what did you tell them?
They've already, I think, you know what, we as BroCabs, we know what we have as an app, and we welcome any competition in the industry. I think more competition would actually bring the industry in such a way that it could be better regulated. I think in this industry, everybody can operate, and we can all sustain ourselves if we do what we need to do. I think for us, it's just to give that input, make sure that the regulation is done in such a way that people are not taken advantage of, because that's the major thing. For us, honestly speaking, it does not make sense for someone who is a Soweto driver who's currently requested on a trip that's 100 Rand to pay 50 Rand to a shareholder who's sitting in in America. It does not make sense for 100%. Us. With this company, with the cost of living, with everything going on right now in South Africa, we had to come through and just do another type of system. So
But I'm actually still shocked by the fact that the government came to speak to you and still decided to do their own app. I mean, guys, software home affairs is offline. I don't understand. But anyways, why can't the government support? Because when the other guests were here, they were mentioning all sorts of e-hailing apps that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Why can't the government support the existing e-hailing drivers instead of them trying to create their own app when they know
There's already
Home Affairs goes offline? Sorry, Home Affairs. SASA can go offline. Some of the government websites still have legacy systems. They have 3D buttons. Who uses a 3D? Why can they not now? Okay, but I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I do.
But okay, fine. This is what the youth is focusing on. We want to help the youth. There's youth unemployment in SA, right? Them creating another app when there's other systems within the government that are not really working. After talking to you guys, I don't know how I feel about it. He can tell us because he's off camera. He won't get in trouble. You and I.
But the application existed prior to our existence, right?
Oh, so it's been there.
Yes. And what I would love to do is not drive the conversation to promote their platforms, right? But to rather speak about why do we exist in the market and why our need is that we have to be in the market. It's because you spoke about efficiency, right? These are some of the things we have to address as young people, right? I consider myself young. And
I believe
because we have to do that, we have to come in with a faster rate. We have to come in with better systems. We have to come in with a more innovative way of doing things. I mean, you can't just sit back and wait for other people to do it. And that's why we took the initiative to come with BroCabs as a different solution to the problem that's currently in the market.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I was just putting it out there as my opinion that, I just felt like they would come in and help. Because previously we also had a guest of Magic CV, and he does an app that actually puts your CV in and the AI in the background pulls 4 jobs that you qualify for, and then you can choose 2 to apply from. But they were having cost issues because AI is apparently very difficult to call their APIs because it's very very expensive. So they had to cut out 1 job to save 20% of costs. But now the government isn't coming in and saying, okay, we're going to help the youth because the youth are already doing this and they're doing it better. And they're younger. They went to these schools that taught them all these things. Okay, when we were taught tech, we were still using my Windows 10 or Windows 3, somewhere there in the numbers. So I was just putting it out there. I'm not putting it to paint your brand or to paint the government badly, but I'm just saying, are they really trying to uplift our youth? Because if they have to come and talk to you, I'm sure they were listening to some of your tricks and tactics and be like, you see what I mean? So it's one of those things. I'm not trying to paint anybody badly, but as the youth, we also need to speak to them, and they need to understand that we are trying. You are trying with BroCabs. There's support from the government to see that they really, and the support from other, especially because you're trying to work with the taxi industry, right, as well, in collaboration with them, work hand in hand with them so that you guys don't clash. The support must come. Santaco must say, so sorry about Santaco, but they must say, okay, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 is happening, and this is a proudly South African app. We can assist instead of fighting for that American guy sitting in his bedroom getting 50% commission every time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand.
So moving on so that I don't get too emotional at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you're right there.
Yeah, it's very true. And in the sense that it's also understandable that government have big legislations and they have big policies in place and they have to follow those standards. I mean, they, in as much as they do want to support companies, they also have their own procedures they have to run through. And we noted that. That's why we're coming with saying that in as much as you can wait for someone to come with help, you can also create help yourself. And we encourage other companies and other people to do that within Southern Africa.
Okay, that's good. And also in terms of, taking a ride, right? As much as we can do our investigations and put things in place, there is always going to be a chance where maybe the driver is unavailable who's registered and they put in a different driver to cover for them for the day. How are you going to navigate that?
What we do with our verification process is that it's not linked to external parties but local, which means you are verified according to the South African Department of Home Affairs, right? So whoever's applying on the application has to be registered on Home Affairs. And as a driver, even though you have someone stand by, but there's credential checks that you have to do, and it shows up on the commuter side to say, this is driver, this is how they look, this is the details of their vehicle. And if there is a mismatch, you have a commuter have the right to say, I don't want to take this trip. I think that's some of the mitigations we've come into play with that.
And we've got a security feature there. Before the ride, just like the other apps, before you are about to go into the ride, you are required to give that particular driver a PIN. So we have an option of cancellation. So we give the commuter full control to say, am I happy with what I'm seeing right here? Can I give this PIN to the driver to start this ride? Or can I go on these other options? We just show them there to say, not happy, this is not the driver. And that information is fed back to us. And then we can make action in real time. As time goes on, remember that we are starting, but as we want to even include facial recognition all the time. You know what I mean? I think that's where we're going with AI. Every single company is currently doing that right now. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we do have an AI team currently right now that are looking at different ways in terms of the app to introduce ways for, number one, ghost riders. What ghost riders are people that are not necessarily normal drivers, but are paid by either competitors and whatnot to infiltrate our business and things like that, right? They would pay 10 people, become BroCabs, enter BroCabs. We thinking that these are real drivers, and when commuters request, they just don't pick up. They don't go and pick up the commuters. Then what that creates? It creates the company to look like drivers do not pick up, but as competitors getting ghost drivers.
So there was a comment on our post that someone said that maybe Bolt hired, maybe Uber hired people to use Bolt to tarnish their name. So this could possibly be happening even.
Okay, I don't want to comment
Yes.
on that one. But I'm just saying, these are the,
So it could be the competitor coming.
Yeah. So these are the things that
I thought it was
we have
false.
done to make sure that
It happens. It really happens. I mean, in this industry we're in, it's cutthroat. So people do tactics in business just to make sure that they win. I mean, we've already been approached by big establishments.
Already.
To try
to
those
partner
tactics.
And
I'll ask you about them off camera because I'm curious.
Okay.
And I mean, like, to operate an app like this, you were talking about cybersecurity the other time.
Yes.
You need to have a cybersecurity company that makes sure that the app is protected.
100%.
It's not just about having an app and having a riders and a drivers app. Unfortunately, you have to break the bank for that because they don't charge anything less than for their services in South Africa.
Is that for a month or like?
So you can pay for them to do the penetration testing, and then after that it's a monthly, it's ongoing. But over a year period, you can pay about for that penetration testing if you want your app to be fully secured.
Wow, I'm actually going to take this moment to educate people who are looking for things to study. Please look into cybersecurity. It's also something I've heard. Cybersecurity has jobs, and cybersecurity is a growing field. So if you're looking for something that's sustainable and you know in your career that you want to be there for longer, I would recommend definitely cybersecurity. And please remember, this episode is proudly brought to you by BroCabs. So let's continue our discussion. Sorry guys, I've been sitting all day. Hey, my back is...
understandable.
I'm starting to think I have Granny's bag. Now, go swiped her back with mine because there's no way this one is actually mine. So you were talking about AI right now, right? And I'm assuming that the AI company comes in to protect people's data, right? When they come into the platform, to make sure that it cannot be hacked, and to also protect people's banking services, because there's certain platforms, when you use them, they borrow your banking apps to other platforms to deduct money. Like they kind of exist as nyana, you know, after you use this one, it borrows the other platform to take 20 rand from you out of the blue. So is that what the cybersecurity company is also for?
Absolutely, because one of the crucial things when going into a user-based application is protecting people's data. Not using it in scrupulous ways or ways that they don't give consent of, but making sure that you use it in a way that is productive. Also, ways that are protected, because you don't want to find yourself having your card used for other purchases you didn't authorize, or to find your data being leaked by other companies, right? Because this is an active going thing. Cybersecurity threats, even banks face them, major companies face them. So it's one of the things that made us go MVP. Now we are going to go fix and make sure every single thing is catered for, people's data is protected, and then eventually we're going to go to market with everything in place.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys have an amazing app. I'm actually impressed.
Thank you.
I really, really am
Thank
impressed.
you.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to emphasize on the model that we have. So we a subscription-based e-hailing platform, which means that a driver would have to pay a subscription, right? And then they get to keep 100% of their profits, right? So just to also give that highlight, that it's not commission.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't charge
No
anything
commission.
to our
On
drivers
commission. You
except
did
for
also
the monthly
mention.
subscription.
That's
fee.
quite, that's something
Yeah.
big. That's
Yeah.
different, right?
Yeah.
Because now, if I can make an example, like if you make on average monthly, and then you are with the other competitors and they're taking 30% of, if you're with us, meaning that we only take
For
a
the
month, it's yours. So you keep 100% of the money that you make. We just facilitate the interaction between the commuter and the driver. The commuter pays the driver.
And is this model sustainable for you guys financially, because you have to pay so many things?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's done and tested, and
Yeah.
it's very viable for our
Very
business.
viable. And there's other value propositions that we have, that this is just the beginning. There's other services that we are planning on doing. We're currently coding those to integrate those things on the app. Right
Like we
now,
said, this is just the beginning. We're
Yeah.
building a super app.
yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So look out for it. And yeah.
Yeah, and you know, when you build super apps, MVP at a time, right? We
Yeah.
don't. I don't want to be trying to order my ride there at BroCabs and they're telling me they're out of service.
No.
So
No.
one feature or two features at a nice steady pace. That's what
Yeah.
we know, because that's what I know in apps. Because you know, when you drop something with 80 features and you don't know if it's gonna crash or if the system is gonna be able to handle a lot of people coming in. So do you guys have like a systematic thing in place where if you had a surge of people downloading your app,
Yeah.
let's say we take this out, and for some reason the TikTok gods love us and they start downloading the app in numbers, do you guys have every infrastructure in
Yeah.
place to handle that?
This is why it's mandatory, we say. We are in MVP phase, right?
Okay.
And the people who have onboarded so far are the people who are able to test the application. Any other additionals from this point going forward will only have access on the 1st of November. However, they can apply on our application to be on the waiting, and when the app opens on the 1st of November, it's all good, all green.
Definitely. Do you guys have anything else to add before we actually
Yes,
close?
I'd like to add
Yes.
something just to open up people's minds here. So even if you are not a driver, you have access to a car that's just sitting there and you want to make some sort of money, right? And you are skeptical to use the other apps because of whatever scandals they may have and your insecurities. So we're saying also with Bro, we are opening that opportunity for that person who has access to a car, whether via loan, whether just at home, that you have an opportunity to make 100% of your profit. Also, owners are also vetted, and there is a process that they also go through. I don't know, Persy, would you like to divulge in that?
So right now, what we are going to promote is that owners are part of the application, drivers are part of the application, just like the green and the black one, and we have systems in place to take both of them. So we want people at home to know that Bro is coming into the market and it's coming with the storm. We are only charging a subscription to our drivers monthly, which means lesser prices for our commuters, and drivers keep 100% of their profit.
That's great. Amazing. Yes.
And my last point for me is look out. We do have a Backer Buddy. Backer Buddy is a platform where you can go share in our journey. If you want to be part of it, and if you want to contribute anything, you can definitely contribute as according to what you feel. We're going to be choosing one person, and whoever has contributed, we're going to provide a grocery to the charity of their choice. So look out for that before the 1st of November. Yeah, that is. Okay, and check out our TikToks.
Yes.
TikTok
Why did
as
you
well.
spill someone with water on their face? What happened there? I've been
Being
watching.
creative.
I was like,
Creative.
okay, it's coming
So
with that
we have
splash.
we have cool initiatives that we're going to do as well. We understand that our tagline is making travel fun,
Yeah.
right? So that is what people should also look out for when it comes to Bro. We have this initiative that we're going to be pushing with the college as well, where also riders are going to have an opportunity as well to partake. There's this, I don't know, Bro Games.
You
talk
can
about Bro
divulge,
Games?
yes.
Okay, yeah, we can. So Bro Games is basically the idea that you, as a commuter, will have time to complete tasks like dares or trivia questions while in a ride from one destination to another. And whoever does it quicker will then be number one in the leaderboard and will then one day win prizes. So we're going to introduce it softly with our influencers who are going to be playing. And then as time goes, people are going to have it on their apps as well.
Gamification, I like that. It's actually a proven UX theory that actually works. It's a UX practice that actually works, where you do gamification in apps. It actually works a lot. So yeah, I think that's amazing, guys. But also, please, before we close, self-defense classes for women. Why are you leaving us out of this?
Yes.
Marketing.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. So we did for Women's Month. This month. This is the last day of Women's Month, by the way. On the 9th.
You can't say that because it's fine.
I mean, it's
okay.
okay.
No one knows.
No one
they
knows.
just think it's that day.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. So on the 10th of August, right, we did organize for one of our campaigns, Bro to Her, where we facilitated trips from 20 kilometers around our partner, Defense Unlimited, Warren, who was hosting a workshop for self-defense where women were getting free rides from their destination, from their homes to where was it? In Rivonia Sports Club. Yes, it was in Rivonia Sports Club. And we had our Bro sisters there. We had some of our Bro brothers there who had a blast. You can also see our social media at BroCabs. We can, where Warren was giving also pepper sprays with one of also his partners there. And it was really great to see that there are people who are not only talking about the measures of safety, but also engaging with whatever initiative is there. And we're saying that going forward, there are going to be other campaigns as well that are safety centric, focusing on also women in the e-hailing space, because we understand that it's saturated by our bros, right? So these are some of the things that we're going to do as time goes in a larger scale.
Wow, this is beautiful, guys. This is amazing. Please don't forget, this episode is proudly brought to you by BroCabs. And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms as well as their social media platforms at BroCabs, right?
Yes.
At BroCabs, all social media platforms. And don't forget to follow us on social media platforms at Set Podcast 1. I am your host, DJ Mahlatsi, and we will see you next time.